The halls of Hive Prime pulsed with amber light as Queen Arlix stood motionless on the balcony of her throne chamber. Her obsidian carapace glistened in the filtered starlight, the crown of living crystal on her brow catching sparks from the twin moons above. Below her, the capital thrummed with energy, drones marching, warriors drilling, banners fluttering with the sigils of ancient conquests. But her mind was far from the splendor of Zorathei. "My queen," General Vrex intoned, antennae low with deference. "The humans are advancing. Their fleets breached the Crixel line. Karsuan 9 will fall within days unless we act decisively." Arlix's second set of eyes flicked open, a sign of fatigue she never allowed in public. "Then we reinforce. Triple the dreadnoughts at Sector Theta. Deploy the vortex wings." Vrex hesitated. "And Princess Xera?" A silence settled between them like ash. "She's of age," he continued carefully. "If she leads this operation, the nobles will see her as more than just your daughter. She'll earn their loyalty in blood." Arlix turned slowly. "You would have me send my only child into a meat grinder for the sake of appearances?" "No," Vrex said, bowing. "I would have you show them that the Hive bleeds together, or it dies apart." Princess Xera stood rigid in the war chamber, helmet tucked under her arm, mandibles clenched in practiced calm. She was tall for her kind, leaner than her mother, with sharp purple eyes that gleamed with both pride and fear. "I'll not fail you," she said. "You should not be there at all," Arlix replied, walking a slow circle around her. "You are not yet ready. I survived the Barren Moons campaign. I trained in zero-G combat. You taught me yourself." Arlix stopped. "Training is not war, and war is not survival. It is losing parts of yourself forever. You don't understand that yet. I want to." Arlix saw herself in her daughter, the ambition, the fire, and it terrified her, because she knew how that fire could be extinguished in a second under human steel. "They fight like animals," she warned, "but with the cunning of gods. They poison the ground. They burn the sky. They smile while they bleed. Do not underestimate them." Xera gave a final nod and stepped into the troop cruiser, surrounded by elite guards. The door hissed shut. Arlix watched the ship ascend, its trail searing the night sky. A queen should never weep, but she did. Karsuan 9 was hell made manifest. Xera's fleet arrived into a sky of flame with orbital debris. Human destroyers, smaller and faster than expected, zipped through Zorathei lines like fireflies with claws. The ground below was a patchwork of firestorms and cratered jungle. Her voice cut through the fleet. "We hold the pass. No retreat." She led the charge in person. Zorathei warriors surged forward behind her, their wings slicing the air. They outnumbered the humans 5-1. It didn't matter. Human soldiers wore crude armor, moved with chaotic speed, but their formations bent and snapped like whips, flanking the Zorathei with terrifying precision. They used terrain like weapons. They played dead to ambush. They laughed while bleeding. A shock wave erupted. Xera's dropship exploded mid-descent, a human railgun strike punching through its core. "Princess down. Repeat, princess." The signal cut. General Vrex sent scouts. Nothing remained but scorched earth and a broken royal crest. Back in Hive Prime, Queen Arlix shattered the war table with a strike of her claw. "She should never have gone," she growled. No one dared reply. "She was my blood, my legacy." Vrex bowed his head. "She died as a warrior, my queen. For Zorathei. She died because I let her." She dismissed the generals and closed the doors. Alone, in the grandest chamber of the most powerful empire in the quadrant, Queen Arlix collapsed to her knees. She did not scream. She did not cry. She sat in silence as the war outside her palace raged on, and her heart, the only part of her never armored, turned to ash. The jungle moon had no name, at least not one spoken by its current inhabitants. To the galaxy, it was a dead zone, a failed colony. To the two beings surviving its ruins, it was home. Captain Ryan Cole adjusted the sights on his jury-rigged plasma rifle, eyes scanning the dense foliage ahead. Vines hung low, thick with humidity. The wreckage of old Zorathei machinery rusted beneath them, Forgotten relics from a battle no one remembered anymore. Except him. And her. He turned. Xera, stay low. The alien behind him moved like a shadow. Tall, lithe, armored and chitin scarred by years of claw and blade. Princess Xera, though she hadn't used the title in years, nodded wordlessly, crouching beside him. A patrol of mercenary raiders trudged below their ledge, exogear whirring with every step. Ryan held up 3 fingers. Xera responded with 2 taps on his shoulder. She'd spotted the one he hadn't. He grinned. Good catch. 10 seconds later, the ambush was over. The bodies didn't even hit the ground clean. Lashed in vines, dragged into shadow, gone before they screamed. Ryan exhaled. That's the last of them. For today, Xera said. Her voice was lower now. More human in cadence, less royal. They returned to their camp. An overturned escape pod reinforced with jungle scrap and bone. It was barely shelter, but after 5 years, it had become fortress, lab, and home. As Ryan stoked the fire, Xera sat across from him, sharpening a blade made from fused human steel and Zorathei carapace. Her eyes glowed softly in the firelight. Tell me again, she said. Ryan glanced up. What part? How you found me? He leaned back, hand behind his head. You were in a cage. Half dead. Malnourished. Thought you were some high-value soldier at first. Took out 6 slavers to get to you. You tried to bite me when I broke the lock. You looked like one of them, she muttered. I was wearing armor, and I've been shot twice. She smirked, her version of a smile. In truth, she had been a wreck when he found her, barely conscious, wings torn, eyes filled with hatred and shame. She never said what the mercenaries did to her. He never asked, but she healed, and she learned. Ryan had taught her human tactics, how to listen to the wind, how to make a bomb from scrap, how to move unpredictably. She had shown him how to read Zorathei pheromones, how to fight in silence, how to kill without being seen. They were survivalists now, warriors, but more than that, they were a team. Xera glanced at the stars through the broken canopy. Do you ever wonder what happened to your people? He shrugged. Maybe they think I'm dead. Maybe they left me for dead. Either way, they're out there. Somewhere. I thought I was the only one left, she said softly. For a long time, I wanted to die. Every day. Until you dragged me out of that cage. Ryan poked the fire. We're not done yet. We make it off this rock. Your people need to know you're alive. They wouldn't accept me, she said. Not like this. Not after living with a human. Learning your ways. Then make them accept you, he said. You're not a soldier anymore. You're more than that. You're proof this war doesn't have to last forever. She looked at him for a long moment. Would you come with me? I didn't spend 5 years teaching you how to blow things up just to let you die at the doorstep, he said. I'm in. She nodded slowly. Then we leave tomorrow. I've finished the signal beacon. Ryan raised a brow. The one I told you would never work? I rebuilt it, she said, with improvements. We'll lure in a Zorathei patrol and hijack their ship. He laughed. You've gotten dangerously good at thinking like a human. She met his gaze. I learned from the best. The stars above shimmered, indifferent to their plans. But beneath them, 2 warriors, one human, one alien, prepared to return to the galaxy that thought them dead, and to change it, forever. The Zorathei cruiser cut through the void like a blade. Sleek, silent, deadly, and stolen. Ryan Cole sat in the co-pilot's seat, draped in scavenged Zorathei armor that didn't quite fit his human frame. Beside him, Xera adjusted the ship's course, her mandibles tight with focus. You're sure they won't shoot us down? He asked, watching stars blur past. They'll recognize my biosignature, she replied. The royal code is embedded in my scent profile. Only my mother can override it. Great, he muttered. Let's hope she's feeling sentimental. Xera didn't answer. They were approaching Hive Prime. The sight of it struck Ryan with a rare awe. A living planet. Vast structures grown from crystal and carapace, glowing with internal bioluminescence, orbiting a sun like a crown of thorns. He glanced at Xera. Her hands trembled slightly. You ready for this? No, she admitted. But I have to be. Queen Arlix watched from her throne as the alarm echoed through the chamber. Unscheduled royal vessel entering orbit, the sentry buzzed. Biosignature confirms. Princess Xera. The room fell silent. Arlix stood slowly. Impossible. Yet the signal was real. When the cruiser descended into the ceremonial landing bay, the queen was already waiting, flanked by warriors and nobles, weapons raised. The hatch hissed open, and Princess Xera stepped out, tall, scarred, radiant with the quiet strength of survival. Her armor was mismatched, a fusion of human tech and alien design. Her eyes swept the crowd, not seeking approval, but standing in truth. Gasps rippled through the court. Some bowed. Others recoiled. Behind her, Ryan emerged, holding his helmet loosely, eyes wary. He said nothing, but every Zorathei weapon locked onto him instantly. Arlix stepped forward, her voice ice. "Who is this creature you bring into my court?" Xera met her gaze. "My ally. My teacher. My friend." Arlix's claws curled. "You vanished. Presumed dead. We grieved you. We bled for you. And now you return with him. He saved my life," Xera said. "He kept me alive when your armies failed, when your empire forgot me." Arlix descended the steps, towering over Ryan. "You reek of human blood," she hissed. Ryan didn't flinch. "You reek of hypocrisy." Gasps erupted. Swords were drawn. But Arlix raised a hand. "Why did you return?" she asked her daughter. Xera straightened. "Not to reclaim a throne. To stop the war. To remind our people what we've become. I've seen both sides now, Mother. We're not the only ones who feel, who fight, who love." Arlix stared at her, eyes searching, scanning, uncertain. This was not the daughter she sent to war. This was a warrior forged in fire and shadow. A noble stepped forward. "General Vrex, this human is a threat," he said. "He's infected her mind. He should be executed." Xera's voice rang like a blade. "He stood beside me when I was broken, when I lost hope. He never asked for loyalty, never demanded obedience. He just fought to keep me alive." Ryan added, "I don't want a throne or revenge. I want peace. That's the hardest thing a soldier can ask for." Arlix looked at him again, truly looked. This fragile, soft-skinned creature had survived the worst the galaxy could throw, had stood unarmed before a room of enemies, had brought her daughter home. Finally, she spoke. "Take him to the guest quarters," she said, "and prepare the court." "Mother," Xera blinked. "If you are to speak of peace, child," Arlix said, voice steadier now, "then let the Empire hear you. All of them." That night, Ryan stood on a balcony overlooking the glowing city. It was beautiful, alien and strange, but alive. He sipped the bitter Zorathei nectar they called wine. Xera joined him. "She's not convinced. She doesn't have to be," Ryan replied. "She just has to listen. She's never listened to anyone but herself. Maybe she's starting to." Xera leaned on the railing. "Do you regret it? Saving me?" He looked at her, truly looked. "No. Saving you might be the only thing I ever got right." She didn't smile, but she didn't look away. Below them, the city hummed. Above, the stars watched. And in the heart of an empire built on war, a human and an alien stood side by side, preparing for the most dangerous battle yet. Peace. The Grand Conclave Hall had not heard words of peace in 1,000 years. Carved into the side of a living mountain, the amphitheater could seat 5,000 of Zorathei's highest caste, nobles, generals, scientists, warlords. And today, every seat was filled. Even the skies swelled with observation drones, broadcasting across star systems. Queen Arlix sat on her obsidian throne, regal and still. Her face betrayed nothing. On either side, her advisors whispered, calculating, posturing. In the center of the chamber, Princess Xera stood alone. Her chitin armor gleamed under the crystal lights, a symbol of exile and survival. Her wings, once torn, now bore ceremonial piercings, each a mark of a kill, a rescue, a choice made under fire. She began without ceremony. "I died once," she said. The hall fell silent. "At Karsua 9, my cruiser was hit. I was thrown into fire, into chaos, captured, beaten, caged." A ripple of discomfort spread through the nobles. The truth was rarely this raw. "They told you I died in honor. I didn't. I died alone, abandoned, forgotten by my own empire. Her voice did not waver. But I survived, not because of the hive, not because of glory, because a human pulled me from a cage, fed me, healed me, and taught me how to fight again. Murmurs surged. Accusations brewed. Some hissed outright. She continued, louder. He did not see a prize or a prisoner. He saw a person. Gasps. One noble rose. You disgrace the bloodline. Queen Arlix raised a claw. Silence returned. Xera turned slowly, addressing the hall. We tell ourselves that humans are savages, that they lack discipline. But it is we who have become beasts, ruling through fear, consuming our young in endless war. She took a breath. I am not here to take the throne. I'm here to give you a choice. Continue this war, and we lose everything. Or change. Evolve. Now Ryan stepped forward, flanked by armed guards, permitted only under Arlix's direct order. He stood beside Xera, helmet under his arm, hands visible. The guards watched his every move. I've fought Zorathei in 10 systems, he said. You're fierce, proud, but you don't know us. Not really. Not beyond the battlefield. He looked around, slowly. You think peace is weakness. It's not. It's the hardest thing I've ever fought for. Brex sneered from the upper tier. And why should we believe you, human? A soldier stranded in the jungle. Ryan raised his chin. Because I've seen your princess dig a grave for a fallen enemy. Because she taught me your war songs. Because she could have killed me 100 times and didn't. Xera added. And because he gave me the courage to come home. A hush fell again. Then, slowly Arlix rose. She descended the steps, each one echoing like a drumbeat. The queen of the hive stood before her daughter and the human. She looked at Xera, truly seeing her for the first time in years. You are not the child I lost. No, Xera said softly. I'm stronger now, because of the pain, and because of him. Arlix turned to Ryan. Her gaze pierced like a blade. Do you believe peace can survive the weight of our past? No, he said, but it has to begin anyway. She studied him. Then Xera, then the court. I ruled with fear because I believed strength came from dominance. But today I see strength also comes from return, from survival, from choosing not to destroy what we do not understand. She raised her voice. Let me known, Princess Xera lives. And she brings not shame, but a warning. The crowd held its breath. Arlix turned to her people. If we do not evolve, the humans will outlast us. Not because they are stronger, but because they are willing to change. She extended her claw to Xera. Guide me, daughter. Teach this court what it means to lead beyond war. Xera placed her claw in her mother's. The court erupted, not in outrage, but in shock. Then slowly in assent. A few clapped. Some bowed. Others simply stood, uncertain but listening. The first peace talks in galactic history would begin that night. Later, on the palace terrace, Ryan stood beside Xera as the stars rose over Hive Prime. You did it, he said. No, she replied. We did it. He smirked. Guess I'm not going back to the jungle anytime soon. She looked at him, eyes glowing faintly. You're not going back at all. He smiled. Good. Together, human and alien looked out over a future that no one had dared imagine. And somewhere in the stars, war began to loosen its grip,